Hey everybody, it's Fox with FoxeoGames, and this is a Fox First Scent of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII on the PC. So let's get it started. I gotta click into the window here. Now basically, when you set this game up for full screen, what it actually does is borderless full screen. Very interesting, because most games don't even feature borderless full screen, especially lackluster PC ports, and it's interesting that this defaults to borderless full screen or windowed. There is no full screen mode. Your options include reboot or quit. Reboot is really interesting given that I just don't think about games rebooting. Computers reboot, do games reboot? You've got these as your options for display resolutions. You cannot go higher than 1080p at the moment unless there's a mod out there somewhere, user-created mod. Scale display area. I've set it to no scaling. I don't need it to scale because the display area is set to the same resolution as my monitor. Color correction, you have standard or advanced. You basically want to set all of these to advanced if you want it to look nicer. They have some glare adjustment. I think that's glare on the camera when the light sources hit it. Depth of field. They have shadows, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is SSAO, screen space ambient occlusion. Lighting, advanced. Texture filtering, standard or advanced. And frame rate is fixed or dynamic. Don't do fixed. Fixed is 30 FPS. Dynamic is from 0 to 60, whatever your computer can push out. Right now I'm running at 60. It does actually work with G-Sync. I have G-Sync enabled for full screen and borderless, or for full screen and windowed mode. This technically counts as windowed mode. The biggest issue with Final Fantasy Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII on PC is the fact that it has hidden built-in DRM, always online DRM. If you are not online, you cannot save your game. So that's a big issue. That's a big deal. But essentially, you've got some in-game options as well as the options that you can see up there in the corner. It took me forever to find those because you actually have to bring your mouse all the way to the top before it will appear, which is really odd. And by the way, the game defaulted for me to Japanese voice acting, which means that the game will not load beyond the first CGI cutscene. It will hang endlessly. Set it to English, then get into the game, save your game, then go back in and set it to Japanese if you want Japanese voice acting. You can enable the downloadable content. It comes with all the DLC, so that's cool. Camera control standard or inverted. Camera sensitivity, I had to set it all the way up, otherwise it just felt like it moved too slow. You got some options here. None of these are too important. These are all kind of in-game options, autosaves and whatnot. You do have keyboard settings that you can change, which is nice. We're going to keep that as W. You can use the gamepad or keyboard. Trust me, guys, just use a gamepad, game controller, Xbox 360, Xbox One, whatever works for you. Gamepad controls, yeah, unfortunately you can't change those. It just shows you a little JPEG or whatever, a PNG file, and that's pretty much it. So on-screen button explanations, you can switch between keyboard and controller. That's always nice, so if you are using the keyboard, it'll tell you, because this game's controls aren't the best on keyboard, and they don't always make a lot of sense on keyboard. So we'll move into the game itself. It actually looks and runs pretty nice. Now, if you get real up close to a lot of these textures, well, you can see that the camera is sort of offset slightly above Lightning, not centered. But if you look, there's a lot of clipping, which is normal. But if you look at like the sword, hair, other stuff, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look amazing. It looks like a upscaled PS3 game, which is what it is, really. But it looks a lot better than it does on the PS3, so that's nice, or the 360 for that matter. I have the game on the PlayStation 3. And I didn't get very far. It's got some issues. It's got some major issues. My biggest issue with it is essentially everything you do is set on a friggin' timer. It's a pain in the butt. You really don't give timers for JRPGs. Ooh, look, secret area. Not really. That's Snow speaking. Snow is less of a he's less of a wussy in this game, which is nice. Bam. If you slash at the enemy before the fight begins, they start with 10% less HP or some other bonus. You can move around on the battlefield. You can guard or do one of 2 or more attacks, depends on your situation. You hit LB and RB to switch it up. When you hit LB or RB, you actually get more action points from your other form. And I'll show you after this battle that you can set up your outfits. Your outfits actually affect what you do in battle. So let's see how many I have. I may not actually have a lot right now. In fact, it looks like I can't get to it at the moment because we don't have any. You can actually set up, for example, which outfit shows when you're running around on the main world. Like this is the standard outfit that you start with. but other outfits give you other abilities. They look totally differently. Some are skimpy, some are not skimpy, some are little like cameo appearances, like you can get her to look like Cloud and have Cloud's Buster Sword. You can get her to look like other characters from other games, Square games obviously, which is kind of cool. I like playing dress up with female characters in games. I really do. It's like my way to vicariously play with Barbie dolls, because nobody plays with Barbie dolls anymore, or guys at least. And I'm gonna get lots of comments on that. Let's slide down the stripper pole. I mean the pole. Let's do it again. Yeah, there you go, Lightning. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, the game actually starts with a cutscene where Snow is in this big flashy room, and there's ladies like sliding down stripper poles. No joke. Not joking. Legit serious, guys. Legit serious. You can guard, which is only useful for stronger enemies. Like these weak dudes, there's no point in guarding. You get all of your, oh shoot, hang on. Here we go, there we go. I think you restore all your health in between battles. Let me double check, it's been a while since I played this. No, you don't, which is interesting. In the other games you did. Instead of switching paradigms like you did in the other two games, you actually, like I said, switch your outfits. So, in a way, the game resembles more of like a Final Fantasy X-2, which had the spheres, or whatever they called them. Those had outfits where you can change how the girls looked, and then they did different moves and whatnot. Oh shoot, see, he hit me first, so I start with 5 less HP. No big deal, unless it's a really tough fight. That 5 HP is gonna go unnoticed. Notice I'm switching between the Savior, Dark Muse, and another form which I can't get to at the moment. Now you'll notice that they've actually under her skirt right there is a, I forget what they call it, but that's something they've started doing in Japan, because you have a lot of perverts in Japan that try to look up the young girls' skirts. So they give them skirts where there's like a little piece of cloth that runs underneath it that kind of covers the area down there. I'm just trying to figure out how to interact with this thing. There we go. So it's just like a piece of cloth that runs in between their legs, so you can't see their underwear and can't look up their skirt. Just a little feature. The little things, guys. It's all the little things. Here we go. Lots of CGI cutscenes, lots of stuff going on. Because Square Enix tends to flag all these videos, I'm going to skip all these cutscenes. This is going to be the first big, tough battle. We're going to skip the tutorial. Staggering is back from the previous games. You guys know how it works. You just keep hitting them with the attacks until they're staggered, and then you do lots more damage. You want to block this guy's every attack if possible. Block. Oh, I ran out of a action points. ATB. Okay, that's got it. Okay, I'm gonna save that for blocking.
No looking back.
There we go. And oh, my guard let up right as he hit me. That sucks. I suck with the guarding. You gotta get used to it. There's actually some skill involved thanks to that guard move. I really appreciate adding the guard move. It does a lot for the game. It really does. Because before, it was essentially a matter of just spamming attacks and switching paradigms. Not a lot else happened. In Final Fantasy X-2 and Final Fantasy... There we go, now we got the stagger. You basically want to unload at this point. Give them everything you got. Do maximum damage. I keep switching up my Dark Muse to the Savior. Dark Muse, Savior. So we've only got 2 at the moment. That sucks. I think you can have up to 3 outfits simultaneously. Ooh, knocked me down. You can do an overclock with the left trigger, which is just, I think, extra damage, and it allows you to do all sorts of moves like crazy for a while. Damn. I should have done the overclock while I had him staggered, obviously. So as you go throughout the game, you collect different outfits, which is really cool. Instead of weapons and armor, the outfits determine your attacks, your abilities, all that jazz. Like I said, oh shoot, I didn't even see that coming. Ooh, we got another overclock. Come on, stagger. Where's his stagger meter at? I actually don't know, to be honest with you. So in terms of the port, it actually seems to be running fairly well. I mean, it's 60 FPS consistent. I have a GTX 980 Ti 6GB with 16 gigs of RAM and an Intel Core i7 4790K running at 4 GHz. It's not overclocked yet because I just got it. And an MSI Gaming 5 motherboard. Although as long as you get a decent motherboard, they don't make a big difference in terms of your performance. Oh no. Oh, see? Because I walked over here, he did not hit me with his melee attack, so that's always good. Don't hit me. Ah, see? That one is really hard to anticipate. We've just about got him down. I'm just spamming abilities now. He's so close to dead. There we go. You can do a lot of the stuff that's available in the game in different, basically in a different order. It's not super linear. You can go to different towns, you can explore areas, but like I said, there's a timer on it. And being time limited is a big frustration. It's one of the biggest complaints people had about the game, and it's one of the biggest complaints I have about the game as well. The story is quite convoluted. The characters are okay. They're much better than in 13 or 13. Well, maybe not better than 13-2, but definitely better than 13. That is, guys, Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns. I guess they reversed it. Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. They couldn't just call it Final Fantasy 13-3 because that would be too easy. That would be too consistent. You also have these guys constantly talking as you're playing through the game, which I found more of a frustration than anything else, especially when I'm trying to talk. Shut up, Snow. I'm trying to talk here. If you think you'd be interested in playing a JRPG with a very competent port, mostly competent port for the PC, and you don't mind Square Enix's somewhat unique, convoluted, and at times awkward story and character development, well, Final Fantasy 13... I'm sorry, let me get that right. Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 might just be for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe, all that jazz. I got links in the description to my Twitter account, Facebook, and my other channel, Foxeo Plays, where I do my Let's Plays. I will see you guys next time. Later, everybody.